Hello everybody, my name is Osmo582 and welcome to the 1.0 release of Ready or Not.
Police, drop the weapon! Get down! Police! Police, get down! I'm not get on the fucking ground!
Welcome back to another What Matters review. My name is Osmo582 and today we're reviewing the Ready or Not 1.0 update. I played this game a long time ago actually. Roll the clip. Oh! I just shot my teammate in the back. Yeah, it went as well as you can imagine. So today we're reviewing the 1.0 release of this game. And let me tell you, this game, oh man, this game is honestly amazing. We're just going to start the review off just by basically stroking this game's wiener a little bit just to say how good it is. The story of this game is nothing. You're in a city called Los Sueños, which is obviously supposed to be a spin on Los Angeles in real life, and that's pretty much it. Load up the overhauled single player, or you can play up with a bunch of people online or a bunch of your friends and attempt to take on the threats of Los Sueños. And let's get right into the negatives of the game, because there's not that many. The first main negative we're going to speak about is the performance of this game. I have a pretty souped up computer. I have last generation's tip-top Ryzen processor with a XT 6900 graphics card and 64 gigs of RAM, and even without recording, this game does struggle to keep a steady 60 FPS. I'm going to assume because of the detailed environments and the game might not be super duper optimized, but it is just something to point out that even on a more beefier PC setup with, 1080p, this game can still struggle to keep a stable 60 FPS. The other main issue I can think about, it's not a huge issue of the game, but you'll notice that on occasion your AI teammates tend to get stuck trying to do stuff.
Disarm that trap.
Taking care of it.
Safe. No traps. Area clear.
Disable that trap.
I got this.
Stand in the middle of doorways to kind of just stare at things. I've had a few times where I'm telling them to defuse like a door trap, and they kind of just leave the door open ajar and don't do anything. It's kind of annoying when it happens, but it doesn't happen too much, but it's happened enough for me to notice it at the very least. And the other big thing that some people may or may not say is a problem, I would say that the AI teammates could be a little trigger happy. If you see in this clip, I had this perp on the ground on his knees, and at least to me, it didn't look like he was reaching for anything, but my teammate decided otherwise and literally clocked him before I could do anything else. I was very confused.
Lead the talk. We got a dead suspect here.
Talk reporting. Roger
Enter the
that.
room and clear.
Continue with your mission.
Police, hands in the air! Freezing!
Because I feel like it was unjustified, but supposedly the AI knows better than I do. And that's basically the negatives, because we're going to get into the positives, baby. Let's talk gameplay and kick it off on the right foot. When you play a game like Payday 3, you have to do crummy challenges and use the same guns over and over to gain attachments and to level up to unlock new stuff. In this game, they say you want to use like a G36 or something as your primary assault rifle, go ahead and take it. Nobody's going to stop you. You want a scope? Go ahead and put it on. This game's progression system is mainly with the levels and cosmetics. To unlock more levels, you beat the level previous, and that's it. Get higher than an F rating. If you want to unlock some customization items that are only cosmetic, just beat the levels at a higher, letter rating, a B or higher. And that's pretty much it. Every single weapon is available to you. Every single piece of armor, tactical equipment, you name it, is available to you from start to finish of the game. There is no limits of what you can take with you. Whatever you see in the menus is what you can take at any given time. And it's pretty awesome. On the topic of customization in your squad, you can manage your team. So when you play the single player, you can also outfit every single person in your team and change how they all look. You give everybody a piece of equipment you believe they need or they don't need. So the idea is when you play the game in single player, you can really optimize your squad, take in the gear you think you're going to need, and command them accordingly. It really opens up a sandbox of options to take, because most missions are different every single time, and you never know what you might actually need mission to mission. On the subject of customization, may I just mention real quick the unbelievable amount of weapon variety in this game. Primary weapons are between assault rifles, SMGs, and shotguns, and there is a very generous amount of weapons on display here, just seen from the footage above of me going through and picking guns. There is a ton of options at every level, including even for secondaries. It is very nice to think that you can take whatever you want. Because remember, the idea of the game is you're not supposed to be just running into buildings, gunning people down at will. You're supposed to be, the good guys giving these people a chance to surrender. So, using bullets is not really supposed to be your key. As the game progressed, I ended up giving all my guys heavier armor at the expense of supplies and ammo pouch amount. Simply because we're not supposed to be gunning everybody down. So I'd rather my team be protected than for them to have a ton of ammo. It's just me, though, speaking. So let's talk the single player experience, since that's majority of my gameplay here. In the single player, in the original early access versions, it was still pretty good. AI was decently good on your team. I didn't feel like your teammates were as trigger happy, and that was pretty much it. You'd have to micromanage and command your guys as much as you could to do basically anything. The first thing I noticed in this game was the AI were given a massive facelift, and it is in all the right ways. When you storm into buildings, AI do not wait anymore for you to give explicit orders to say, restrain civilians or restrain suspects or call them in to, central command. They will do things on their own. If evidence is on the ground, such as, weapons off of perps, they will call them in. Certain things they still don't do. So in some missions, you might have the objective of calling in, stolen intel, government information, or a server farm on the meth lab house. AI still don't call those in. You still have to be the one to call those in. But when it comes to taking down people, taking down targets, picking up evidence, restraining people, they do it all on their own so that it's a lot easier for you to handle it. The AI also do a lot of other things on their own, if there's massive open doorways, they'll automatically queue up with another guy and they'll automatically clear it for you, so you can clear the big rooms. Pretty much all on their own, and it's much better. The AI is a lot more responsive than they used to. They call out a lot more call outs than they used to as well. The AI do feel more like real people, and that is really good because the single player in this game is very enjoyable because of it. Take basically the Payday 2 AI and then jack them up to 3000, where actually a better analogy would be, imagine Payday 2, but the bots could put down drills, actually bag stuff up, pick locks and everything. They could essentially actually be active participants in the heist. These guys are pretty close to being full active participants because they can now do just about anything. They can use rams, breaching, shotguns better. They can use shields a lot better. You can give a lot good commands and such. Oh yeah, the command system. The command system was overhauled a lot from what I remember from early access to now. You can queue up commands, have your team split up, do a lot of extra things. Now when you breach rooms, you can have it that your guys will wait for you to lead on, and you can push through as well and lead them in, which is really nice if you're trying to lead a charge with a shield or something. You can also have it, they can use, like I said, pretty much any tactical equipment now, which I don't remember that much from early access. And the commands are usually executed a lot more fluidly, and the bots can really handle them themselves. So this game's single player is definitely worthy of being a game that you can just play for hours, because these missions are not quick. But we'll get onto the missions soon enough, because they deserve their own section in this video. Before we move on to the guns themselves and talk about how the guns feel and the gunplay itself, I want to go over one last big piece of the new overhauled single player, and that is your team motivation and morale. You see, obviously this game, which we will see later in this review, is very tense, and the atmosphere really, you even feel it. This game is very intense for me to play, in a good way. And it's almost like your characters in this game feel the same intensity, because it's obviously very stressful for whoever's going through what you're doing to do what they do. So now the game has a system where after every mission, your guys' feelings will change. They'll either be content, anxious, in crisis, as things go. Basically, the worse you do on missions, so people that get injured, if you die, stuff like that will make them worse. And the better you do on missions, so the least amount of people you have to kill, the least amount of people you have to shoot, And if everybody can make it out of the mission healthy, the less that happens to them. With the new system, you have it that units that stay on your team for much longer or stay a part of the SWAT team for longer will unlock perks that will help you and your team out. However, everybody will have a bad mission because this game is brutally difficult in my opinion. So, all you have to do is send your guys out to therapy and they're gone for about 3 missions. There, they'll get better and they'll be ready in action. From what I'm understanding is, if you let somebody in a crisis on your team, they have a very high chance of mentally breaking down during a mission, and that's not good because if I'm correct, they basically leave the mission completely. And I can imagine in real life that would happen with some of these situations, because you will see when we go over atmosphere and the environments and how the game feels with pacing, Los Sueños is a very dangerous city, and obviously the worst of humanity makes this place their home, and you'll see that. Without further ado, let's discuss gunplay. Oh, baby. Sound effects so good it even made my dog bark.
Move, move, move!
Roger that. Move, move, move! You have no one.
Suspect down here.
Police! Show me your hand!
Police, you're under arrest! Police, drop the weapon! Freeze! Police, don't!
Before anybody makes fun of my aim, just remember that I was panicking. Anyway, as you can see from these clips, hopefully, the guns in this game hurt for both sides. Guns have real stopping power in this game. Nailing somebody in the stomach or in the leg puts them on the floor. Getting shots that would be seen as like lethal are lethal. Hit people in the upper shoulders, the throat, and the head, and they are dead. It doesn't take much in this game to do it. Your guns have real power in this game. No Call of Duty bullshit here. Which is also another interesting thing, because when you take down people, you'll still be able to tie up their bodies on the ground because they're still alive. So you never know when there's a chance they might get back up. So make sure you restrain even your unconscious targets. But the gunplay in this is very, very, very smooth. Really good animations, great sound effects, real pain behind these guns. It is a matter of life and death every time you pull that trigger. It is fantastically executed. But the coup de grace of this game, in my opinion, is not the gunplay. I'd say let's move on to what makes this game amazing. The atmosphere and the tension it creates.
Banging. Opening on the right.
Restraining. Got it bagged.
I have seen this before. Mining up.
Opening on the right.
Hallway right in front.
Get the door, clear it.
Affirmative.
Ram and clear. Clear on my go.
Take it down.
LSPD.
Go! Fucking hands on your head! Now! Hands up! Drop your head down! Now! Get on the ground!
Copy. EMTs and trailers are standing by.
Hands up above your head! In the way, Chief.
This game is unbelievably tense and very, very atmospheric. You are going throughout this city limits fighting basically the worst society has to offer. And at any time during these missions, anything can happen to you. You never know when you'll have to pull the trigger on somebody and how they react, how they go down easily or not, and just how quick the game can end for you if you're not careful. Just take a look at these examples.
It's support.
On you. Talk reporting. Officer down.
Now!
Talk to entry team. Copy, entry team. Proceed with mission.
Talk. Got an officer unresponsive.
Talk to element.
Get the fucking lead out! Move! The only one with a gun.
going.
Your weapons!
Shove it!
Hands up! Above your head!
Full smoke on the left.
Fuck, I'm out of ammo!
Hands up! Drop the weapon!
Nothing here, sir.
Police! Drop the weapon!
Are
Put the
you
weapon
fucking
down!
serious?
Freeze!
Fuck you!
Police, get down!
I'm not
Get
going
on
to
the
jail!
fucking ground!
Fall in.
On you 6.
Lead to talk. We got one fatality. Suspect.
Talk to entry team.
Now!
Talk copies all. Proceed with your mission.
The intensity of this game is insane at times, and then other times it's very, very, very quiet. Basically, it will go from you'll burst into a room, gunfire galore, shooting at everybody you can find because nobody wants to give up, to then you just clearing rooms looking for the last targets. Anytime during the mission, you pull up your handy-dandy tablet and see what objectives you still need to accomplish. My biggest complaint is that the main objective, Bring Order to Chaos, is basically completed when all active threats are taken care of. My problem is that this will actually tick. Let's say you get lucky in the random generation and all of the threats are in the first room, and you take them all out. That tick will go off indicating the objective is complete. My problem is it takes away a lot of the tension because you'll be clearing rooms like it's nothing because you know there's no real threats left on the map. They should only make a indicator for how many rooms you've cleared out of the total amount, so that it always keeps you on edge no matter what. Because it seems the number of enemies is always randomly generated every time you go through. And some missions you'll go through, people are either really aggressive or really, really, really passive. You never know what you're going to walk into, which is why you have to constantly upgrade your guys' gear, change out equipment, change out strategies constantly. It's a very spooky way of this game working. Also, when it comes to the atmosphere, there is a lot of fucked up stuff in this game. In the first mission alone, you'll find a dude with his head completely blown off, and it is intense. I would say this game will really push you to your limits of what these guys probably see in real life. You will see the most fucked up people. You fight cultists out in the forests. You literally bust a kiddie porn manufacturing data center at one point, meth houses. You name it, you're gonna see it. And it is some pretty intense stuff. So it makes the perfect sense to me why these guys get so fucked up after a lot of these missions. But to me, it's what makes this game a subtle horror game more than like an action shooter game. Because this is like an action horror game. Because the tense moments really keep you on the edge of your seat. There's a lot of moments where I panic in this game because I can't see what's happening. Tunnel vision is real in this game, and you have to work your way off of it. Every shot in this game counts, and the only way you're going to succeed is if you don't fuck up like I do. Of course, other small things like the game's sound is really good. You can hear people through walls speaking. You can hear people walking around and stuff. You got to use all your senses that you can use in order to protect yourself and your team, because every second counts in this game. It's something that's very integral to this game and is masterfully crafted. Using headphones in this game is one of the few games I actually recommend you use headphones for, because you need to be able to hear everything around you. And other than that, this will be a slightly shorter review than usual, somewhat, but this game is very, very good in my opinion. I had a blast playing this game when it came out to 1.0. The bot changes they made to your teammates, the single-player overhaul system, the tenseness of the atmosphere, I feel like they got down just right. The intensity that this game can provide, the good-ass gunplay, everything. It's good. Its negatives are that there were some bugs I discovered, but guess what? It's been version 1.1 if I'm correct at this point, and they've patched all the graphical issues I saw when I first booted this game up at 1.0. So at the time of this recording, they are fixing bugs, which is always great to see. So let's move on to the verdict. In the case of Ready or Not, I give this game a 9.5. This game was so very close to getting a perfect 10 in my opinion. This game definitely sits in my echelon of some of my all-time favorite games, to be 100% honest. This game nailed tactical shooting, in my opinion, to almost a T. The only reason why I didn't get a perfect 10, in all honesty, is mainly because the performance issues it experiences can tear down the experience just slightly, because it's not really fun when you turn around in a room and the frame rate jumps from like 60 all the way down to like 22. Not really fun to have those tears, but they happen. They can fix that, optimize the game just a little bit better, or I can stop being a prima donna and turn down my graphic settings. The other little things is to keep the tension up to high. They should make it that they don't tell you an order to chaos has been brought. They should just make it that they tell you how many rooms you've cleared, and at the end you can determine if you've done it, or that's when they tell you if you've done it or not. Because you want the tension to stay at 100. Other than that, though, it's very minor nitpick things that they need to fix, so like the AI getting stuck, fix the weirdness with the AI, and some of the weird graphical things that can sometimes still happen. They need to fix a lot of that stuff to get this game to the perfect 10 territory, but I'd say 9.5 is definitely deserving. All they have to do is basically fix those small issues, and I think they have a done deal. Some people would probably say that the game needs more in single player for you to work towards. I think it's perfectly fine what they have, because the game is intense and fun enough to keep you pushing forward without any arbitrary reason to force you to play the game, at least in my opinion. This is one of those games that I'm still playing to date after getting my minimum of 5 hours for the review. I'm still putting in a lot of time and still having a hella good time playing it. So anyway, guys, that's going to cut it for this review. Stay tuned soon for the Afterthoughts video, and I'll see you in the next review.